Breaking news! Welcome to Decolonization News Network. I'm William.
I'm Noah, and today's big hit, Cuba, a once Spanish owned colony, then a place where U.S. investors flourished, and now is experiencing great calamities and almost a world-ending apocalypse.
Fulgencio Batista, a Cuban military officer, maintained control through a series of public presidents until 1940. When he was elected president on a populist platform, he instituted the 1940 Constitution of Cuba and presided over Cuban support for the Allies during World War II.
Angry with the current administration, Fidel Castro, another person, and his brother conducted an attack on the Cuban military barracks.
This was an attempt to overthrow Batista and the current government.
His attempt was unsuccessful, however, and they were put in jail, and Castro was forced to give a final speech, but that also made him popular among the populace.
This armed struggle movement captured the attention of the United States, and due to Castro's alignment with the Soviets during the Cold War, Castro was frustrated with the current political and economic state of Cuba and wanted change. The U.S. decided to get more interested in what was going on.
However, Batista believed that Castro was no threat, and on May 15, 1955, he was released.
On December 31st, 1958, Castro gained enough socialist support and he toppled the previous government.
Since Cuba was now a communist state backed by the Soviet Union, the U.S. was afraid that the communist nation would spread communism to its own nation. The fear, however, wasn't just communism. It was proximity. Havana, just 90 miles off the coast of Florida, was extremely close to the United States. And in 1961, the U.S. sent a CIA mission to invade Cuba, but it failed, and this was an attempt to overthrow Castro.
This new communist government caused massive amounts of immigration from Cuba due to the lack of human rights and the new government imposed.
Cuba became the closest ally to the Soviet Union, and Castro wanted to expand his nation by helping developing countries and helping them become stronger, but also making them communist.
This caused extreme amounts of tension because the Soviets had control so close to the U.S. and in fear of an all-out nuclear war when the two superpowers filled the atmosphere.
In 1962, the Soviets supposedly placed nuclear missiles in Cuba, which prompted the U.S. to also place nuclear missiles close to the USS capitals.
A nuclear war was about to start.
Cuba asked the Soviet Union for more missiles to protect themselves, but the Soviet Union never replied to them. And for 13 long, dreadful days, a massive standoff occurred between US and USSR. And then finally, they made a truce, and the missile crisis was over.
This has been DNN, your source for global decolonization updates.
Thank you for listening.